Hello, welcome to September 18th, 2023. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation, an exercise that I do every morning, a little after waking up. It's now 4:38 a.m. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone. You can get a copy on Amazon at the link right here. If the link doesn't appear, then you can also find the link down in the description. I do this to remember the life objectives and principles outlined in the book. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the various challenges and opportunities that I met, especially the ones that took me by surprise, and including last night, how I slept. I think about the coming day, ready myself for today, and then prepare myself for death. But before I do any of that, I like to read a poem. Today I'm going to read from a very thin book. Has the select poems of Matthew Arnold, a 19th century poet and a social critic, a school inspector for his career. He also did write poems, initially anonymously, but then when he got his confidence up, he began to write. I find his poems to be very contextual. You really need to have been either of the period that when he wrote, or which is the first half of the 19th century, or very familiar with that period to understand the poems. So I kind of read through here until I can find ones that are more generalized. And I found one here that I like a lot. It's called Lines Written in Kensington Garden. It's a kind of like a still life of a scene one day in that park in the middle of London. And Arnold is taking a snapshot of it and has some commentary about the busyness of the city surrounding the park and the peace within the park, which I have firsthand, remember I said context, right? I have firsthand knowledge of. I remember very well my own stroll through Kensington Park in that must have been in the 90s when I was in London. And I particularly remember going along the lake and the grass, and the lake and the grass, probably where the poem was set. I also remember the Prince Albert Memorial and having a long, good stare at that. Let's read the poem. Lines Written in Kensington Garden. If you're ever in London, give it a shot. It's a nice place. In this lone open glade I lie, screened by deep boughs on either hand, and at its head, to stay the eye, those black-crowned, red-boled pine trees stand. Birds here make song. Each bird has his across the girding city's hum. How green under the bough it is, how thick the tremulous sheep cries come. Sheep cries? Sometimes a child will cross the glade to take his nurse his broken toy. Sometimes a thrush flit overhead deep in her unknown day's employ. Here at my feet what wonders pass, what endless active life is here, what blowing daisies, fragrant grass, an air-stirred forest fresh and clear. Remember, this is the park within the city. Scarce fresher is the mountain sod where the tired angler lies stretched out and eased of basket and of rod, counts his day's spoil and spotted trout. In the huge world which roars hard by, just outside the park, the big city, imagine early 19th century life. Be others happy if they can, but in my helpless, I didn't read that right, let me try that again. In the huge world which roars hard by, be others happy if they can. But in my helpless cradle I was breathed on by rural Pan. I, the very purpose of a park, right? I on men's impious uproar hurled, think often as I hear them rave, that peace has left the upper world and now keeps only in the grave. That's why I read poetry. Good Jeez. Gotta mark that. Let's hear that one again. I on men's impious uproar hurled, think often as I hear them rave, that peace has left the upper world and now keeps only in the grave. Context. Yet here is peace forever new, where I, who watch them, am away. Still all things in this glade go through the change for their quiet day. Then to their happy rest they pass, the flowers close, the birds are fed. The night comes down upon the grass, the child sleeps warmly in his bed. Calm soul, of all things make it mine, to feel amid the city's jar, that there abides a peace of thine, man did not make and cannot mar. The will to neither strive nor cry, the power to feel what others give. Calm me more, now let me die before I have begun to live. There's something in that last bit. That's the end. Calm soul of all things, make it mine. Appealing to God, maybe? To feel amid the city's jar that there abides a peace of thine. Yeah, that's God. Man did not make and cannot mar. The will to neither strive nor cry. Again, God's peace. The power to feel with others give. To feel with others give. Give to me the power to feel with others, the power of empathy. Calm me more, nor let me die before I have begun to live. God, grant me the peace that you have, that is from you, that I may have empathy to others and thereby live before I die. Get it? That's a nice poem. Matthew Arnold, Dover Beach, and other poems. Now, last night and yesterday, slept fine last night. A little bit of a sore throat. I've been feeling that the last couple of nights. I think it's because I had the fan on. Great day yesterday. Boy, Yumiko and I got so much done. She had a headache. And went out and we did all my stuff in the morning, and then Yumiko and I had a nice lunch together. The food was so, the setting was nice. The restaurant we went to, the beach house in Seal Beach. I didn't even give it a Yelp review. I tend, if I don't like a place, I don't even review it. I know that's probably should, right? That helps them and their customers to know, but it's just not I'm a positive guy. If I don't have something nice to say, I just keep it to myself typically. So it was okay, but we had a nice walk afterwards. And that's to be expected, right? I mean, Yumiko and I go out for lunch together every Sunday, and we can't get a winner every time. We get them about 40% of the time. We get absolutely phenomenal places, and then the rest is either mixed or okay, or so-so. And it's because we always try new places, right? We rarely go back to the same place twice because we like to diversify and range things up, especially since we're leaving. And it's my job to find the places, so I can take all the blame or the responsibility. And then after we came home, we had a nice talk yesterday. Talked about how 2024 is a big year for us, given that we both turned 60, Yumiko and I. Our daughter graduates from university, and it's the year of the dragon again. And the three of us are all dragons, born in 1964 and 2000. These dragon years just keep coming around every 12 years. Yeah. I had a good swim, got some good reading done at the beach. It was a fine day. I got so much done on my YouTube channel, really tuning my channel up. Okay, but it's a Monday now. But before I talk about today, let's do the Good Life recitation. My 8 objectives are to be always ready to die, to make good and effective use of time, to develop and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to maintain my balance through all things, particularly in the mind. I noticed yesterday, watched an old video because I was going through my playlists of my live videos, and I realized I only did one live video ever in Japan on my YouTube channel. All the rest came here. I noticed that I was not in balance when I was living in Japan. Not at all. I didn't have much measure or cadence or structure to my speaking or my thinking. I was out of control. And after I'd seen that video, I watched about a half of it, I went on and told Yumiko, I said, I'm sorry, I was such a handful in Japan. It wasn't until I came to America and went alone that I really came back from the desert with balance. That's why it's principle or objective number 8. My 34 principles are war, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, principle of nature, the pirate ride, maturity, the social principle, the principle of family, public speaking, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be born, the feast of Offal, distraction, agency, and the great indifference, the best seat in the house, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion, the season of philosophy, the bullseye script writing, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, and the principle of fun. Got them, but twice I stumbled. If you're curious, what are these things that you just said, Kurt? These are all titles to the principles that I use to guide my life, all of which are listed in my book, Going Alone, in the chapter titled The Good Life. The 8 objectives are there too. Now, am I ready for today? It's a Monday. I'm only working half a day. It's funny, I've got the 2 halves of the day. The first half of the day is work, and the second half of the day is doctor's appointment. I'm getting an ultrasound on the lump that was found in my, I'll be quite plain. Forgive my immodesty, but it's my left testicle. It's double its size. Although, and for some cases, most men would celebrate big balls. For me, it is, of course, a cause of worry. So especially given the testicular cancer as a way of coming on fast, and it's pretty dangerous if you don't get it. So I'm getting it checked out. The doctor gave me an alternative. He said it could be that. He doesn't think so, though. He says it's more likely something called a vascular. I can't quite pronounce it right, which is a phenomenon that occurs with the blood circulation in the veins backing up. It's common. It happens to 15 to 20% of all men. And I have other symptoms that are sympathetic to that as well. So that's probably what it is. And that's cool. So I'll find out. There's doing an ultrasound. And I'll know one way or the other. That's in the afternoon. So funny that that's of the 2, I'm more worried about the meeting that I have at 9 a.m., which is ridiculous because I will never remember the meeting's irrelevant. And that's weird. The only thing I'm worried about with the surgery part is, or not the surgery part, but the ultrasound is, please God, if you're up there, please let it be a man ultrasound person. Last time I had an ultrasound for my last lump at the same place, it was a lovely young woman. Fortunately, it was just in my. It was kind of a sensitive place too. I've had 2 ultrasounds, one for my hernia, another one for the lump that they surgically removed. It was benign, but they took care of it anyway. And now for this one, and both times before it was a lovely young thing. And this time, again, going real private. I hope it's a grumpy old man that's good skilled at his art. There, I know that I've given you more information than you could probably care to know, but that's me, I'm factual. There's that, and then I'll divide the day up accordingly. I'll be driving all around. I'm going to go actually have this meeting in person. That's it. And I'm worried about the meeting because they expect more of me than at this project than probably is necessary. I'm being brought in to help with this project that's been ongoing for a long time. It's a good project. It's been well run. Just need tighten a couple of things up that is my specialty with regard to communication. And I'll get the chance to do said communication today. Am I ready for death? Are my affairs in order? Absolutely. Oh, and tomorrow I have another retirement training. Are my relationships sound? Yes. Is my life's work complete? It's done. Let's wrap it up. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.